Hey there, this is a video all about the old traditional Irish set dance called St. Patrick's Day. And this video is intended for anybody. So if you're a dancer, you'll probably be able to break down some steps with me and learn something new. And if you're a musician or just somebody who enjoys all of this stuff, this video is also for you. So I have two steps that I'm featuring here at the moment. The St. Patrick's Day from North Kerry and also the St. Patrick's Day set that comes from Cork that is actually the one that's commonly known by pretty much every Irish dancer worldwide these days. These traditional set dances, there used to be lots and lots of regional variations, and every dancing master used to have their own version. And in the early 1900s, the Irish Dance Commission actually kind of consolidated and landed on one version for each set dance, and now those are the versions that everyone does. So we're gonna break down the Cork version, which is actually pretty much the version everyone does today, and the North Kerry version. I'm going to dance the two of them, and then we'll break them down and kind of look at what makes those styles particular to that region and the dancing masters that created them or that were behind their creation, and also learn a little bit about the dancing masters and these dance forms as we go along. First, let me dance each one for you. Here's one of the North Kerry versions that comes from Jonathan Kelleher and Shim Satira. And the Cork version. So let's break these down into 4 segments. So most Irish tunes, each part can be broken into 4 segments, which can in turn be broken down into 4 segments, which can in turn be broken down into 2 or 3 or 4, depending on if it's a jig or a reel or a hornpipe or a slip jig or whatever. Slip jigs are a little different. Let's look at the first quarter of the each step from Kerry and Cork. So the Kerry step, which actually it's in the style of the one of the last famous itinerant dancing masters of North Kerry, Jeremiah Molyneux, who probably had a St. Patrick's Day step, but it hasn't survived or it hasn't been unearthed to this day. And pupils of his and people who are part of his lineage actually got together at the theater Shim Satira, including Jonathan Kelleher, who you see dancing this step, and created this step out of moves from Molyneux's repertoire. So this is an imagining of what a Molyneux St. Patrick's Day might have looked like, and it's very much in this North Kerry style. And it goes like this. 1, 2, tip and step, tip and heel, heel, click, step. You have to balance on those heels. So that's the first quarter. 1, 2, tip and step, tip and heel, heel, click, step. So we see immediately one of the kind of main features of the Molyneux style or the North Kerry style, which is this kind of twistiness, which is very unique. The Cork dancing is very much more precise, but the North Kerry dancing has this kind of twisty flowiness to it, which you'll see in the video from Jonathan Kelleher if you watch that. So let's watch that one more time. 1, 2, tip and step, tip and heel. So there's that twist. And it doesn't just come from the ankle, it comes from the hips as well. So you kind of get that fluid. So tip and heel, heel, click, step. Okay, now let's take a peek at the first quarter of the Cork Blackbird, or St. Patrick's Day. It starts treble 1, treble 2, treble 3, treble 4. So basic enough. And I got this step actually from my dance teacher in Cork, Peggy McTaggart. And this step is one that is used in modern times, current times, by all Irish step dancers. They do pretty much a version of this step. Now this step actually is an interesting representation of kind of this history of modern Irish step dancing. Back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, when the Gaelic League was starting to collect Irish dancing and kind of codify it, they actually went to different Irish dancing masters and said, hey, we need a version of St. Patrick's Day. We need a version of the Blackbird. We need a version of the Garden of Daisies. Can you give us one? Now, every dancing master not only had their own version of the step, they also had variations, and you would throw different jigs or hornpipes in to create a different variation. So I can't remember if it's with this step or a different one, but one time I was talking with the dance historian who's written a gazillion amazing books on the history of Irish dancing, John Cullinan, and he told me a story about a time when a Gaelic League official was taking off. They had been down in Cork collecting steps, and they were on the train platform with one of the dancing masters, and on their way out they said, "Oh, hey, we need a step for this set. Can you give it to us?" And they wrote it down, and he took it off to Dublin and put it in the it became set in stone as that version of the step. But it was just the version that the dancing master gave him that day. So it doesn't actually represent this kind of multitude of steps that actually existed amongst the different dancing masters and different pupils and the different regions. So I can't remember if it's this step or not, but this particular step, the first half that we're doing now, comes from an Irish dancing master from Cork named Din Moore. And then the second half is a combination of a step from the dancing master Stevie Comerford, and then a step from the dancing master Christy Murphy. So Stevie Comerford, he actually was one of the dancing masters or dancing teachers in the first place in the world, as far as I can tell, where there were actual Irish dance classes that people came to. So he went and taught in this space in the Cork Pipers Club. They had a place called the Quadrille Club. Quadrilles are the square dances that come from France and led to the formation of Irish set dancing, social dancing. But Stevie Comerford was one of the main teachers in the Cork Pipers Club. Dancing masters at that time were still mostly itinerant and traveling around, but Comerford was doing this in Cork City. And now Comerford's student, Tommy Hill actually moved to New York City, and he's part of this kind of lineage of Cork and Kerry dancing masters that like really set the stage in New York City to begin the Irish dance scene there. And that's why the American dance scene and the modern Irish dance scene as we know it is very much influenced by the Cork and Kerry styles. And thus this kind of St. Patrick's Day that's existed to this day too. There's a few reasons why that's the case. But I got this step from Peggy, and one of the things Peggy would have told me to do here would be kick my bum. Now, I don't do that when I dance very much, but I'll do that for Peggy today, since that is what we're doing here, showing you the thing. Okay, so that was our first quarter of each. The last thing to notice with each of them is that they have a little pickup note. They don't start right on the one. And 1, 2, 3, right? So there's an and, or and 1, 2, 3, 1. So tunes, oftentimes musicians will play a pickup note. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because this is a jig. And instead of starting on the one, you might do dee-dum-ba-dee-dum and 1, 2. So the Kerry step has a 1-beat pickup note. And 1, 2, 3. Yep. And 1, 2, 3. So the 1 is actually on that back beat. And 1. The Cork step has a 2-beat pickup note. And 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, there's our first quarters. Here's our second quarters. The Kerry step, we started dee dum dee dee da dee dee da 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 da. And now the next quarter goes da 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 da. Dee dum da ba dee ba da da. Okay, so that was, we had just done a step back, and now here we get this twistiness again to bring our heel out in front, and then we draw back with our toe, hop toe step, and we do a hop back, and now we angle ourselves this way. This is like very particular, it has to go this way. Step, and these are drums. Now this is interesting, we get a drum in each version of the step, and neither of them are like the modern version of the Irish drum. An Irish drum nowadays would look like this, or where you start out and your toe goes in, from out to in, right? The old versions, there were multiple versions, and in this Kerry step we get one that doesn't twist at all. And Jonathan Kelleher was very clear to me that for this drum, you really have to have your toe kind of dangling. I'm not sure that I even really have it perfectly yet. I don't have it perfectly yet. I need to relax and do it a little bit. And it stays, it doesn't twist, which is hard for me to do because I'm pretty conditioned to twist. But so it goes step, da, ba, da, ba, da, da. Okay? So that was the second quarter of the North Kerry version. Second quarter of the Cork version, we just did da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, dee, da, dee, dee, da. Now here's something that's pretty common in hornpipes and jigs. Treble, cut treble, hop back, and then dee da dum dee da da dee dee da 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 da. Now, those outs, you kind of point your toe. Now in the old days, they actually wore shoes like this. Modern Irish step dancers would wear hard shoes or gillies, so you really couldn't point your toe much more than that in these shoes. But you point your toe, and it's a nice kind of singing move. Okay, first two quarters of Kerry. Dee da dee dee da dee dee da 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 dee da 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 dee dum da ba da ba da da. Okay, now the third quarter goes staying in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dee da 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 da. So there's that twist again, that twisty hip. There's the third quarter of the Kerry step. Third quarter of the Cork step, we get to see a drum. So we just did dee da da dee dee da dee da dee da da da. Treble, cut treble, hop back, out and 1, out and 2, out, and here we go. Toe hop down, tip and tip up, drummy down. Okay, so we just did and toe hop down, tip and tip up, drummy down. Now this is another old version of a drummy where you actually go from in to out. You see this a lot. And the dancing masters were very specific and particular about what kind of drummy you did. Okay, so let's head back to Kerry. So we've got 3 parts so far, and we'll add that 4th part. So I'll do my fingers so you can see the parts. Dee da dee dee da dee dee da 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 dee dum da ba da ba da da dee da dee dee da dee. We face front here. Dee da dee dee da da. Now the 4th bit is really fun and it's very unique. It's a step, step, heel, step, hop back 2, 3, 4, and the heel is where it gets unique, or the step. So you go step, and then on this, so I go right, left, and my heel goes out before I bring my toe in to hit my heel. So it goes step, step, dee dee, dee da 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 da. There's our full version of the Kerry step, first part, and our full version of the Cork step. We had treble, 1, treble, 2, treble, 3, treble, 4, treble, cut treble, hop back, dee da dee da dee da 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 da, dee da 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 da. And this is just a really basic ending that you get in a lot of Irish dances. Treble, cut treble, hop back, 2, 3, 4. So let's do the 2 of them side by side. I'll do one after the other, and I'll do my fingers so you can see the 4 sections. 3, da, dee dum da dee da dee dee da 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 dee dum da ba da ba da 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 dee da dee dee da dee da 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 da. Hop back 2, 3, 4. I got confused with my fingers. Sorry. Here we go. It's Cork. Dee da dee da da dee da dee da da dee da 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 dee. Da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee. Back 2, 3, 4. Some imperfect versions, but I've got videos of Jonathan Kelleher from Sheen Satira from Tralee doing the North Kerry version, and I've got a video of myself doing the version that I got from Peggy from Cork if you'd like to see them in a bit more of a perfect space. Thanks, everybody!